Question 34. An automobile gasoline tank is 3/8 full. After 6 gallons of gasoline are added to the tank, it is 3/4 full. Gasoline sells for $1.50 per gallon. If the tank is empty, what would be the cost to fill it 3/4 full? So let's try to visualize this for a second. So this is my tank, all right, and it's about 3/8 full. So that's 3/8 of a tank. We're adding stuff into it, and specifically we're adding 6 gallons. And now our tank is 3/4 full. So 3/4 of a tank. We got to figure out how much of a tank was added. So what fraction of the tank was added? So how much of that tank was added? Well, if you have 3/4 of a tank and your final your final answer, and you started with 3/8, we could figure out how much was added in terms of units of the tank by subtracting the two. So we can do 3/4 minus 3/8. And remember, when you subtract fractions, you must have the same denominator. So we have to multiply the top and bottom of the first one by 2. So we're going to have 6/8 minus 3/8, which is 3/8. So that means we have 3/8 of the tank added. Now, how does this help us? Well, we're going to do a proportion here to solve this, right? So let's think of, so this is in terms of the tank. So 8 parts of the tank means a full tank. 3 parts of the tank is just a portion of the tank. So if 3 parts of the tank were added here, and we know that specifically that is 6 gallons, then we know 6 gallons is the same thing as 3 of 8 parts of the tank. So we're going to do a proportion to figure out how many gallons it takes to fill the whole tank up. And then from there we can finish the rest of the problem. So let's do a proportion. So we're going to do, remember, proportions are part to whole. So we will do 3, that's like tank, we'll say 3 parts of the tank. To 8 total parts of tank. And that's going to be equal to 6 gallons over X total gallons that fill up the tank. Again, if I add 6 gallons to the tank, and it turns out that that ends up being 3 of 8 parts of the tank, then 6 gallons fills up 3 parts of that tank. That's how I set this up. And it's a little cumbersome, but if you just ignore the units for a second, you can just cross multiply to solve this. So that times that, set them equal to each other. So we are now going to get 4 times 8, that is 48, is equal to 3x. Solving for x, we could figure out that the total gallons you need to fill up the tank is 16 gallons. So we're not done though, because the question's not asking us that. The question's saying if the tank is empty when you start, what would be the cost to fill it to 3/4 full? So this is completely full. So we got to find out 3/4 full. So we'll just take 3/4 of that. So 3/4 of 16 is 12. And specifically it's 12 gallons. And there's one more step. We got to figure out how much it's going to cost. So that information is given right here. So if we know it is $1.50, we'll put dollars for every 1 gallon. Then if I multiply that by 12 gallons, I'm going to have $18, which is what we need to get it to 3/4 of a tank full. So our answer for this one is going to be J.